Hi everyone, this is Krista with Art Graphic Studio. Welcome to my channel, and if you've been here before, then certainly welcome back. I'm glad to have you back. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to upload and make my center oval pop-up card blank. Now there are two sizes of cards in this set, a 5x7 and an A2 size. These are card blanks that you can decorate to your own taste or your own occasion. I provided some ideas, but decorations are not included in the Etsy files, so let's get started. If you have not already downloaded your SVG file, you can go to my Etsy shop by going to etsy.com and searching for Art Graphic Studio. Then scroll or search for the SVG you're looking for. If you are a Cricut Design Space user, you may be able to access my free designs. For more information, see my note at the end of this video. Sometimes, depending upon your system and or your software, you may have to resize your uploaded design before you can make it. While I'm demonstrating this in Cricut Design Space, the same principles apply no matter what software you're using. So to get started, you'll need to upload your design files. Now, typically in Cricut, this is going to be an SVG file, but there might be other files, PDFs or PNGs or JPEGs. So let's go to Upload, Upload Image, and Browse. Now we're going to go to where we know our files are. In this case, crafts and envelopes. Now today I'm going to show you on this 4.5 by 9.5 inch envelope. So I'll open that and open the SVG file. Now here's our file. So let's upload that. And here it is. Now let's just click on that. And you see this green border? That indicates that it's selected. So we want to add that to our canvas over on the lower right. Now here we have it. Let's make it a little smaller so we can see the whole thing. Now you can see it's all grouped, but before we ungroup it, we need to do one thing, and that is to resize it, or to see if we need to resize it. In this case, I said I wanted a 4.5 by 9.5 inch card. So I'm going to create a rectangle, unlock the edit, and change that to width of 9.5 and a height of 4.5. Oops, 9.5. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to move this size that I know to be the correct size into place. About there. And as you can see, that's pretty close. So I think I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to get rid of that because I don't need it now. But let's say, for example, our envelope or whatever our project was came in at a different size. So here's the size we wanted, but as we can see, it's way too small. So what we want to do now is to adjust the size of the project. In this case, it's an envelope. So I'm just going to grab the corner and I'm going to expand it until I get it about where I think it ought to be. Now I've gotten it a little too big, so I'm going to reduce that. And there, that's about what we need for it to be. So we don't need our rectangle anymore. And here we are, ready to start designating our score lines. So now we know it's the right size. Let's go ahead and ungroup it. Now we want to change our score lines into score lines because they come in as cut lines. And in order to do that, click on the area that you know to be your score lines. And the way you know these will be score lines is because this box right here turns red. So we want to change basic cut to score. Now you can see that we have our score lines. Now all you have to do is select both your score lines and your design and attach them. Now you're ready to make it. And when it comes up, you can see that your score lines and your design is all on your cutting board and ready to cut. This is the center oval pop-up card. And I have it in two sizes, a 5x7 and an A2. This is the A2. And we'll start with the base. Now this is a blank. and the decorations are not included in the SVG file. So here is the base, and there is a panel that goes on the front of the base. And if you're going to use a decorative panel, you need to go ahead and do that first. All right. Now this is the mechanism for the pop-up part. Here's some decor. This is part of the mechanism. This is the springs as part of the mechanism. And on the springs and the mechanism, I did use very heavy cardstock. The more heavy the cardstock, the more spring you will have in the lift. All right, so the next thing we want to do is we want to take the two images, the two shapes that have a score right down the middle. Let's go ahead and score those. And we're going to glue them on the front of the card together like this. And where you put them is entirely up to you, except that you do want to make sure that when you put your vertical one, that you don't get off the card. Otherwise, it's just entirely up to you. You might want to put it a little bit higher, leave room for something, a centimeter on the bottom, or you could put it center. I'm going to move mine up a little bit. I'm going to center it between the two, and I'm going to make sure that when I put this on, it does not exceed over the edge of the card. So we're going to put our glue on the back of each of these. And then we are going to put this down. I want to leave a little bit of room on the bottom for a label or a sentiment. And then I'm going to put those there. Again, I'm going to check and make sure I'm not overlapping the edge of the card, which I've got plenty of room. I could have moved it up even a little more if I wanted to. And then I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Now these two pieces are just decor pieces, and you can use them or not use them. But if you decide to use them, this is the way they'll go on. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our springs, and that's what these are for. So you just fold those like that. And then we're going to glue them here and here. And this will be what lifts up this part. So you want to glue them about in the center there. And as I said, you might want to use heavy cardstock if you want these to have a lot of spring. If you're mailing it, or you just don't want it to have too much lift, then you can use a lighter weight cardstock. Now I'm going to let this dry for a few minutes to make sure that those are on there very tightly. And we'll be right back. All right. Next thing we want to do is, this is our top piece that will go right here. It will glue to the top of these two springs just like this. Now I have provided you with a decor panel you can use to decorate, and you can also put a sentiment or a bow or heart or any kind of other decor that you want to put on here. You can put on the front of this. I would recommend you do whatever you're going to do first before you glue it down here. But I'm going to go ahead and glue this decor piece Then we will put some glue on both of these, and we will lay this right on top. And we're going to let that dry for a good long time. Make sure that it is well glued. And I'll be right back. All right, here we are. You can see how that's lifted up like that. And then you'll put your decor on the front. And I have provided you with a separate panel to put a sentiment on. If you're a stamper, of course, you can stamp something, or you can just create it in your Cricut. It is included in the SVG file in Cricut. And there it is. See you next time. Thanks for watching, and if you find this video useful, don't forget to click the like, subscribe, and notification bell to stay informed about more exciting projects. I appreciate you watching my video, and I will see you next time. If you're a Cricut Design Space user, you can access some of my shared projects by opening Cricut Design Space, and on the home screen, in the search bar, type Art, Graphics, Studio, and press Enter. Then scroll down to Community Members and click on Art Graphics Studio. There you'll find all of my shared projects.